Hello and welcome to our special broadcast, The Lord's Face Off. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Day 4 is about to kickstart. The match is wide open and all three results are still possible. But a lot will depend on how Indians bowl today. And if they restrict England for anything less than 250, then they have the game in hand. England, on the other hand, would look to bat through and give a big target to India. Let's see who steals the show in this penultimate day, which is day 4. We'll talk about the strategy, strength and weaknesses of both the teams in the next half an hour. Eminent guest will also be with us along with a sports correspondent. Let's get it started. So the third test between India and England is delicately poised after the visitors equalled the host score of 387 runs in the first innings at Lord's. England will resume play on the fourth day on Sunday at 2 runs with openers Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett at the crease. Earlier, opener KL Rahul scored a century while Ravindra Jadeja and Rishabhpant pitched in with crucial 50s as India posted 387 runs, matching England's first innings total. Rahul and Pant shared a fourth wicket stand of 141 runs. India looked vulnerable with 5 wickets down after losing Pant and Rahul in quick succession, but Ravindra Jadeja steadied the innings with his third 50-plus knock in a row. For England, Chris Woakes was the pick of the bowlers with 3 scalps. And just before the close of the play, there was a high drama when Crawley and Duckett got into arguments with Indian fielders over the delays. India captain Shubman Gill clapped for Crawley when he called for the physio to check his injury after the ball hit his glove. India players swarmed around Crawley with Gill exchanging words with the England opener. All right, let's take a look at the top highlights of day 3, and the most important would be that India matched England's first innings score of 387. How often do you see that? And for India, KL Rahul scored 100. Rishabh Pant scored 74. Ravindra Jadeja also scored 70 odd, and KL Rahul, like we said, stitched 141 stand with Pant for the 4th wicket. Jadeja and Nitish Reddy added 72 runs for the 6th wicket, and India finished first innings on 387. England are 2 for no loss in the second. An important statistics also, Indians have done well in the series and in the Lord's Test also so far. Let's take a look at the numbers so far. 9th time when teams have tied their first innings scores in test matches. 5th 350 plus total for India in this series. 4th 100 for KL Rahul in tests in England, and no other Indian opener has more than 2 test tons in England. 2nd 100 for KL Rahul at Lord's, and 2 Indian batters with multiple test hundreds at Lord's. Earlier it was Dilip Vengsarkar, now KL Rahul, and 8th 50-plus scores for Pant in the test in England, and he has equalled the score of 8 50-plus scores. He has equalled MS Dhoni, and 9th time when teams have tied their first innings scores in tests, and like we said, 5th 350-plus total for India in this series. So India, they have done well with the bat in the series so far. We saw that in Edgbaston also, and also in the first test at Leeds. It will be interesting to see, because here in this test at Lord's, India will be batting 4th. What score would England give to chase in the 4th innings? That will be interesting to see, and all will depend how England bat in their second innings today. And for more on this, we are joined by senior sports journalist Malay Nirav. Welcome, Malay. Welcome to DD India. Appreciate you giving us your precious time. Siddharth Bhardwaj, DD India's correspondent, is also with us from the newsroom. Malay, I'll come to you first. Tell us about India's position heading into day 4. All 3 results still possible?
Of course, equally poised test match. Very interesting. From cricketing point of view, it is one of the best that you could have ever imagined. In an era when test match was giving way to the shorter forms of cricket and people were saying test cricket is going to be a thing of the past, now you can see how close is the contest, you know. It is going almost to the wires. So any of the 3 results are possible. However, let me tell you one thing, that India must be repenting, having lost Rishabh and Rahul both in quick succession. because at one stage you were 248 for three, and then you were 254 for five. Well, two of your best players gone, and there's a lot of pressure on Jadeja and Reddy to perform, which Jadeja does perform well. And Rahul could have stayed there for a bit longer, but he played a very poor shot and he got out. And Rishabh that drama was something which was totally uncalled for. So, in hindsight, when you look at it, you can go on criticizing both Rahul and Rishabh for not having stayed there, for not being able to calm their nerves and keep it under control. But now, since we are at a stage where 387 has been matched by 387, and if you recall, I had told you that 350 to 400 is a max that you can hope on this wicket when England were going to bat. And you know what? Today's morning, will have a lot of answers to many questions which all of us have. How is the first hour going to behave? How is Bumrah going to bowl? What have Bumrah, Siraj, and others have? What have they got, Kashdeep? They have got in store for the British, for the English batters. That is, these are the questions which
Yes.
will be answered most probably by the time we have lunch today.
Right. But Siddharth, what's the pitch like? How do you think the pitch is going to behave on day 4 at Lord's?
Well, Abhishek, it's very interesting question that you've asked. It's a very different movement every time and every day when as far as the movement of the pitch, as far as the pitch is behaving. On the first day there was no movement as such for the Pacers, but then on the second day the Pacers got their paradise on the pitch, and then on the third day again, batters got the advantage of the pitch. Fourth day it is very interesting to see how the pitch will behave. A little bit of dryness, maybe it's very likely that Pacers will get the benefit out of it, but we'll have to wait and see. And as honorable guest has also said that it will be a thing to see how Bumrah will bowl, how Siraj will bowl. You have Washington Sundar and Ravindra Jadeja can also pitch in. So yeah, all in all, it all depends on the bowler. And of course when we talk about Jasprit Bumrah, Abhishek, he is one of the best in the world. And the other day Narayan was also asking me that what is there in Jasprit Bumrah. So I answered that it's his unconventional bowling style, and when you see the dynamics of his action from a very short run up. In fact, from a short run up, when he can bowl about 140, 145, and throw classic Yorkers, it goes on to show that the dynamics of his unconventional style is something the world watches. And I always say that whenever Jasprit Bumrah takes his run up, the batters have a different kind of fear in their eyes. So yeah, this is a very interesting test match, and it's very important one for India as well. It's like a fresh breeze has entered into the Indian dressing room as far as the current test team is concerned, with young players pitching in very well, and Shubman Gill at the helm of the team. Now the team is actually performing really well, and captain himself is leading with example. So now it all depends on the bowlers, that how good they'll bowl and how fast they can send the entire Englishmen to the dressing room and then come on to bat again as soon as possible, and just finish the match.
Day 4,
the chances definitely are that India will take this match, but then you have to wait and see, because it's cricket, anything can happen on the field.
Day 4 is very crucial. Malay, Bumrah and Jadeja, you think will be very crucial today? Bumrah because he is head and shoulders above the rest of the bowlers, and Jadeja because of the rough maybe that has been created?
Yes, the rough which is there, I was watching the pitch very closely. It is there, but it is not such that the spinners will get a lot of support from this. But I am going to pitch in for not only Bumrah, but Siraj, Akashdeep, and also Nitish Reddy. So the first couple of hours today, when there is little bit of moisture in the pitch, the paceman, the Indian pace battery, can actually do some formidable damage to the English team. And yesterday evening, when you saw that hot exchange between Crawley and Shubman Gill, that was also assumed, the Indian team was assuming that they'll get at least 1 or 2 wickets in the last couple of overs, and Bumrah was ready to bowl, and then the whole delay took place. So let us first think about the Indian pace battery today in the first 2 hours. And then after that, of course, Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar. And don't forget that it's not going to be very easy for India to bat
Yeah.
in the fourth innings
Yeah.
because the wear and tear of the pitch and also the bowler's footmarks and all kinds of things which are there make it very difficult for you to bowl on the fourth, to bat on the fourth day. So I would say that a lot depends on the first half of the fourth day's match
Yeah.
and the Indian pace battery trying to impress everybody, not only Bumrah, but also Siraj, Akashdeep, and Nitish Reddy.
Malay also, I mean, there's been a lot of talk on what happened in the last over of England's innings. In the second innings, I'm talking about yesterday, rush of blood and England playing the delayed tactics. I mean, how would you react to that?
Well, look, uh, it is not quite unexpected. Such things do happen when you have only 2 overs to stand there for, and you do not want to take a chance. You don't want to call the night watchman. You have to
Yeah.
stay there.
Yeah.
And while trying to stay there, if you are employing such tactic, which many teams have been doing in the past, there's nothing unusual, let me tell you. And there's nothing unusual in Shubman Gill also losing his cool there.
Yeah.
Because when you are imagining, when you are thinking that you are going to put pressure by taking 1 or 2 wickets, and then you suddenly realize that somebody is getting delayed, somebody is calling the physiotherapist, so naturally you get worked up, and there you become angry, and sometimes angry exchange of words, and it was not a very good thing to happen. But these things have been happening on the ground ever since I have been covering cricket, which is now more than 25 years, 30 years. So I have been seeing this happening in some form or the other. So I'm not surprised, and I'm not taking it so seriously as any Indian cricket fan would take it. If you look at the reaction of Rahul, when he was asked about this heated exchange towards the end, he said, well, they were right in their own way for doing what they were doing to delay it. So there was some heated exchange, and that exchange, I hope it doesn't take a dirtier form today.
Yeah.
But let the ball do the talking,
Yes, that's
let
right.
the bat do the talking,
Yes.
rather than the players talking amongst themselves. And one more thing, which very aptly has been pointed out by Sunil Gavaskar, is that since there are not so many players from England playing in IPL, therefore the kind of chemistry which matches between players from different countries while they're playing for IPL is not that matching of frequency and chemistry is not seen here between between the English players and the Indian players. So that is also one of the
Yeah,
reasons.
maybe. Yeah.
But all said and done, the killer instinct does
Yes.
play a role in such.
But Siddharth, good thing was that every Indian player, you would have seen in the last over, every Indian player was together. Everyone was clapping. I mean, there were heated exchanges between Crawley and Shubman Gill also. I think Indians will be pumped up today.
Definitely. I mean, that is what is required. You play as a team, and when you are on the field, especially, you need to show that unison, and you need to show that we are together. In fact, Indian team is together, and that's what it matters. And talking about today, like I also mentioned earlier, Abhishek, that when the team will come onto the field today, the entire match will depend on how the bowlers will bowl today. That's what will matters. And yeah, as far as the heated exchanges are concerned, then these are pretty much normal, and that's what make a test match interesting. And that's how viewers also are glued to their television screens. So there's a sort of entertainment factor as well, and then it goes on to show that how in your own backyard we are ready to defeat you. That's what it shows. So yeah, some banters are pretty well on the field. And tomorrow, when the Indian team will come onto the field to bowl, definitely we'll see some magic happening with the pitch behaving differently. We'll see how first 2 hours are behaving, how the pitch will behave in the first 2 hours, and then everything will be sorted out. So yeah, the focus today is that how fast the Indian bowlers will send the Englishmen in the dressing room, and then they'll come on to bat and just finish the game.
Right, but Malay, have you seen Shubman Gill that aggressive before? I mean, otherwise he's calm and composed on the field.
You see, aggression is something which is not always natural.
Yeah,
Sometimes it is made up also. Let's admit it. And it is necessary too.
yeah,
I mean, I have seen that era of Indian cricket, the transition when a great kind of change in the temperament of the players was introduced or induced by Saurav Ganguly. See, I can never forget how he made Steve Waugh wait for the toss. I can never forget the way he behaved when he went to Pakistan with his team. So, this kind of an aggression sometimes is pretty natural. It has become the order of the day. But you see, sledging of the kind that used to happen earlier,
yeah.
and mostly the Australians were the crowned, they were crowned with this glory most of the times of using sledging on the pitch, that is gone. Now, you see, it's a kind of a heated exchange which takes place where four little words may be used sometimes or the other, but more than that, it is the anger which is shown and expressed just to put some psychological pressure on the opponents. So it is part of the game. It is part of the game. It is the mind game which is played through such aggressive gestures. But these aggressive gestures are not to demean the other player.
Yes,
There's a difference between the era when every time you played against Pakistan or England played against Australia, there would be somebody trying to just provoke you into doing something. You must have heard the famous story of Javed Mirdad. And every time, the Indian batsman, I think Sidhu was there, but no, somebody else was there. And every time a ball would come and Javed Mirdad would say, hey, apna room number bata. Hey, apna room number bata. Now, after some time, you see, Gavaskar went to Javed Mirdad and said, yeah, tu kya kar raha hai? Why are you asking room number bata? And he said, nahi, main ball udhar hi usi ke room mein marunga.
yeah, yeah.
So these were different. That was a different era. Now the mind game is played not through kind of discrete gestures, but you come and start talking. You start arguing. You start being very, very aggressive in the field. Everybody joins you. It is not 1-to-1 anymore. See, the clapping that was done, it was sarcastic.
Yeah.
And it was sarcastic because they were clapping for the day to get over,
Yes.
while the therapist was still coming in. So this kind of a gesture is nothing to be taken in that way. The way for example, when Gavaskar was trying to pull Chetan Chauhan out of the field, and he was stopped then by the manager of the Indian team. For example, when Bedi walked out with his entire team. For example, when the bowling, the very, very lethal kind of a bowling was being experimented on the Indian batsmen by the West Indian bowlers. And there was a lot of, now that kind of a thing is different. Here is aggression only to put some pressure on the minds of the opponents, right?
Right.
It's about mind game.
Absolutely. It's all about the mind games. And yes, we saw that in the last series also when Kohli was India's captain, and we all know how India came back in that test match. But Siddharth, how much score is enough score for Indians to chase down in the fourth innings? Malay is also saying that it will not be easy to bat on day 5. 270, 280 chaseable?
Absolutely, and I also agree that it won't be easy to bat on this wicket, especially, with the pitch behaving in a different manner on each passing day, with each passing day. But yeah, the kind of form the Indian batters are in, definitely, you give them 270, 280, or in fact 300, if, the openers are playing good, because it all depends on the structure. You see when the top order is behaving really nice and the top order is playing good cricket, so it gives a foundation to the middle order batsmen to score further. So yeah, yeah, definitely it will all be dependent on how the top order will play, and the kind of form they are in, with Shubman Gill scoring centuries, and in fact Ravindra Jadeja also playing good cricket. Apart from that, other batters are also chipping in really well. So yeah, definitely 270, 280 is I believe it's easily chaseable, Abhishek.
All right, Siddharth will live there. Thank you for your inputs. Malay Nirav continues to stay with us. Malay, what should be India's strategy on day 4, you think? Like Siddharth was also saying, get England out as soon as possible and maybe restrict them under 250?
Yes, of course. I agree fully with Siddharth because, see, if you allow them to cross the 275, 280 mark, then you're inviting troubles. Number one. Number two, the idea is not to keep waiting for the team to get out till the last session of the day 4. The idea is to try and get as many wickets as possible in the first couple of sessions, especially pre-lunch, so that there's a pressure. Otherwise, that pressure can only be useful when you are able to sustain the pressure and you are able to restrain the English side from going for baseball cricket. You don't want them to go and hit hard. If they have wickets in their hand, they will go all hog and they will try and demolish your bowling to the best of their abilities.
Yes.
And once they cross the 300 mark, you are under pressure.
Yes.
And therefore, the whole emphasis should be on good fielding and good bowling. And even if you're not able to take wickets, now restrict the
them,
number
yeah.
of runs, as you have been doing, and the Indian batsmen have been doing. They have restricted the number of runs. Don't by the number of wickets, but the way all these have bowled, you have seen that they have not been giving too many runs. And hence, I think the effort that they should put in should be only focused on getting the maximum number of wickets by giving the minimum number of runs in the first 2, 3, 4 hours of play. And that is when you will put pressure on the English side, and that is when you will be confident that you will be able to chase any target, or you will be able to at least go in for a draw. Because you don't want to come under pressure on the 5th day on a wicket which is not behaving the way it does normally, and also which is unpredictable, and also the weather which can cast a different kind of a spell on the people who are standing there in the field. So that way, I think Indian efforts should be focused, concentrated on getting as many wickets as possible, as early as possible, and retaining the number of runs to the extent possible.
Right.
Good fielding and good bowling.
And I hope they don't drop catches also like they did in the first test at Leeds. But yes, all eyes will be on Indian bowlers today, how they bowl today. And like our guest Malay Nirav is also saying that anything over 250 will be difficult to chase down. But yes, if India manage to win this game, they will be 2-1 up in the series. And Malay, last question before we leave you. Shubman Gill has also said that this is the best team to tour England. We haven't won anything in England after 2007. You think this team, they have it in them? The series is level at 1-1, and if they win this, they'll be 2-1. But your reaction on Gill's statement, best team to tour England?
Well, I don't think that Gill has overstated. I think that after a long time, we are seeing a very balanced side with a very good bench strength. See, we were all talking about Bumrah not playing, things going wrong at Glaston, and so on and so forth. But the way the Indian bowlers have bowled, the Indian batters have performed. Look, Yashasvi Jaiswal was not too successful, nor was Shubman Gill in the Indian innings that has just ended. But then you had Ravindra Jadeja. So the depth that is there in the batting line, right up to number 8, you can expect somebody to go in for a century, or if not a century, at least half a century. Now that gives you a lot of confidence. And then the pace battery that you have, also the 2 spinners who are playing, and both of them adding with their bat also. So it's kind of a spinner all-rounder, a bowler all-rounder performing very well there. So there is no batting all-rounder here, no primarily batter all-rounder. But then the way the team is being composed, it is very balanced, and it can certainly do wonders. I was there in England. I remember when the match was played at Lord's and when Wengsirker made a century. I mean, that was one of the best performances. And before that, of course, which we have not seen, that was Ajit Wadiker's side when they won the first match, and Chandrasekhar did his wonders with 6 wickets in one innings. But of late, I think if you look at the Indian team, this is one of the best that you can have, and this is one of the best with a very good bench strength, and that is what makes you very different from others. And you have a team with the best pace bowler of the world coming
Absolutely.
to India. That
And
in
a lot
itself
of
is a big thing.
yes, and a lot of credit goes to the Indian openers also, especially KL Rahul, the way he has batted in the entire series so far. It was his second 100 also at Lord's. He has been exceptional. Yashasvi Jaiswal is also doing well, and yes, like Malay also said, our all-rounders, Ravindra Jadeja, Washington Sundar, they have been chipping in with few runs. We'll leave it at that. Malay, thank you for giving us your precious time.
Thank you very much.
All right, intriguing game is on the cards, and let's see how India bowls in the first session. We'll keep getting you updates on day 4 right here on DD India. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.